Welcome to another episode of She Looks Like Me. This is episode 2, and I'm so excited to have my first guest. She is a dear friend of mine. We have done business together, and I cannot wait for today's chat. Today's theme is start that shit anyway. And so hopefully by the end of this episode, we will encourage somebody listening to this podcast to start something that they've been thinking about, the thing that they can't get off their mind that keeps them up at night. Hopefully you'll be inspired to at least get started, take some action, and be inspired to launch that shit. So my first guest is Shawntel Asemota White. She is a leader in experiential marketing and project management with over 12 years experience in large-scale event productions and community programs. After working with some notable corporations, brands, celebrities, and organizations, she made the decision to transform lives in small businesses by becoming a wellness coach and business strategist, equipping entrepreneurs with mindfulness techniques and business strategies so they can confidently launch successful businesses and be well. Shawntel describes herself as a woman, wife, mother, UGA alum, shit finisher, inspired, inspirer, Aquarius, storyteller, creative strategist, experience snob, and podcaster. She is the creator of the Soa Inspired Podcast, which shares transparent stories of entrepreneurship, candid interviews with influencers, and wellness tips with the hopes that listeners will find inspiration to be well and be better. When she's not consulting or coaching, Shawntel enjoys soaking up the local culture, reading, and finding joy in everyday moments in Atlanta with her husband and daughter, Jayla Boo. Hey, Shawntel.
Hey, girl.
I'm so happy you could join me, and I'm so happy to have you as my first guest.
I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
And I'm so excited to have you on this podcast because it is appropriately titled Start That Shit Anyway, right, which is how we got here to this podcast.
Literally how we got here to this podcast.
Yes. So for those of you who are not familiar, Shawntel and I go way back. She is the reason that you see my shop Simone Cherie. She helped me launch the shop 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
Goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
And has always been in my corner, always, down to have a little girl chat, a little business powwow or whatever, either one of us needs. And I'm always so grateful for her. So yes, I definitely want to jump into start that shit anyway. But before we talk about that, there's a lot happening right now. So I really want to ask you, what is bringing you joy these days?
Ooh, what's bringing me joy these days? I think for me as of late, it has really been the opportunity to be present as a mother and a wife. Because it's like, I'm definitely type A. Like, I'm like, we got to do the checklist and we got to do the organization and we got the to-do list and everything like that. But it's like, I've been really enjoying putting my phone down, turning on some music, being really silly with my daughter, getting on the floor, and then just like watching my daughter and my husband develop their relationship and just being present in that, not capturing it for the gram, not taking pics, not taking video, even though I should, but just really being present in those moments that sometimes we lose sight of because we're trying to get the business going or maintain the business or, check the emails, check the gram and all the scrolling that we do. I'm finding joy in just being present in everyday living.
I love that. I totally agree with you on that. I think prior to this year, I know for me, it feels like I've been running for years, running from one goal to the next, running from, one client project to the next. And this year, it was just like, you know what, we get to stay like, chill out.
And we don't feel bad for it. I don't understand why in America, in the United States of America, we feel bad for chilling.
Right.
We work ourselves to death, literally, and then when it's like you need to take the weekend off, I'm gonna jam pack the weekend with all the activities, but like just being still is like so taboo in our culture. And I think if nothing else, which is like the saying now, if nothing else in the COVID era days, this time is teaching us the necessity of slowing down.
Like, yeah, we actually you have to do that. Otherwise, you might get sick out here, and we don't want that.
We don't want that.
Right. So, no, I love it. The thing with being still, which is interesting, is that's tough for a lot of people. I know it's been tough for me, and I've signed up to do the work on myself. And so for people who may have not signed up, sitting with yourself can feel like a lot. And so, but it can be a beautiful thing, and it's been a beautiful thing for me. So, and I'm glad to hear that it's been a beautiful thing for you.
What's been bringing you joy these days?
What has been bringing me joy? You know what? My family. Spending time with my family. I normally would go home maybe once, maybe twice a year. And I've definitely seen my mom and my grandparents more this year. And I don't think I realized how much more grounded I feel when I go home and I can just put my feet in the grass in my grandma's yard and just sit up under my mama and let her be a mama and me be a daughter, even though I'm a whole grown up.
I have a whole daughter, and even I be like laying up on my mama like, I just need you right now.
Please.
I don't care how many kids, how many grandkids I give you. I just need your presence real quick. I just need to be the baby instead of taking care of one right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm so here for that, which is so contrary to starting that shit, because when you want to start something, you want to go. But I think before you even really start something, take the opportunity to be still in that idea, in that concept, in that vision, so you can have clarity on how to complete and how to execute. And I think, especially for the hustle and go culture, especially for the sleep is for suckers, especially for the I'm asleep when I die group of people, it's like, definitely there's a time to grind. There's a time to hustle. There's a time to put your head down and put the pen to the paper and get the work done. But even before you start with whatever it is you want to create, be still with that and let the vision completely manifest in your mind's eye, and then get to work. Like, what is the next step after that?
I love that. I completely agree. I think there is some stillness that needs to happen before jumping into things, but that stillness should not take too long, right? Hence the theme of our podcast today. Because, at some point you have to get out of your way and you have to get shit done. So tell me what that looks like for you. How have you been? Because I know me, like, I'm trying to be more intentional about getting out of my own way. I am trying not to self-sabotage myself, and I'm trying to not let my ego set me up for failure.
Right, listen, because ego, back.
Exactly. So I'm curious what ways you get out of your own way. Are there things that you do that kind of help you get your mojo going, whether it's on a new project or just your motivation and maybe daily habits as far as, to keep going? What does that look like for you?
So, like I said, I'm a type A type of person. So procrastination has never necessarily been a part of my routine. But as I've been getting older, and I got a child to take care of and a husband to take care of and a household, it's like some things just kind of get pushed to the wayside. But like, if I have an idea, like when my website crashed this year, literally the week of COVID, my main website crashed. I was like, you know what? I don't even have the bandwidth to cry about this because I've got things to do. So like, I was like, okay, well, we need a new website. What do we need on there? What are we going to do? And I really just started to, once I sat still in the idea and in the vision, I just took it to paper. I was like, let me just completely write it out. Because sometimes we do a great job of envisioning. We do a great job of putting the manifestation out there, but then we don't write it down. We just want to keep it in our head. And just like that space that you need to utilize, energy you need to utilize to making it happen. So for me, when I have an idea, I will write it out. I have like Evernote. I have my notes. They have so much notes in there. I write it down, completely get the idea out of my head and on paper. And then, depending on what I have to do or how pressing the idea is, I may start working on it that week, or I may have to come to it like a little bit later. But after that, I'm like, okay, this is the vision. Now we have to work backwards. Like, if I want to get that website done, that .com done, like, what is the step? So I'm gonna have to make sure the new domain is available. I'm gonna make sure the hosting is available, make sure I have the bandwidth that I need, make sure the platform it's gonna be built on is available and stuff like that. So I think, having the vision, but then coming up with a task list. In our everyday to-do list is like 57,000 things on there. And that's not a good to-do list. That's a task list because you have to break those down. So taking the vision, coming up with an ultimate task list for that, and then breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. I think part of the reason why people fail at starting or even just procrastinate on it is because it's like, I'm trying to eat the whole elephant. How do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant,
You
Simone?
don't. You don't, but bite by bite.
Bite by bite.
Yeah.
One bite. Maybe start with the trunk. Maybe start with the foot. But it's just like, you can't eat a whole elephant. Your mouth is not that big.
Right. Absolutely.
You start with one piece and you build from there. So it's like, you can do as many things as you have the bandwidth to do, as many things as you want to do. But one, understand that there's balance. And then two, you're not going to do everything in one day.
Right. Yeah. And it's just not possible to. I completely agree with that. I think reverse engineering the vision, because especially when you are somebody whose vision is huge, right? Like the idea that has come to you or the thing that you have been working toward or building toward is so huge that it is overwhelming. It can create that procrastination because you are like, how am I going to get this done?
Exactly.
But I will say this, my therapist, and I'm going to reference my therapist a lot because, hello.
Listen.
Each one teach one.
Right.
So my therapist tells me all the time, because even with her, I'm like, oh, I have this big idea and this thing, and I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And she always says, it's not up to you to figure how you're going to do it. It's up to you to make the decision that that thing is going to happen. And so, once you make the decision, the universe, God, whoever your person, spirit, ancestors, whatever it is you look to for those answers from, the other side, they will meet you on the how.
Very true.
They will meet you. That's their job. Exactly. It's not your job to figure out how it's going to happen. You're just supposed to put it out there that it's going to happen. So I think that's the first step. And when you really truly believe that a thing is going to happen, then your steps are you move different.
Exactly.
It's like, whether it's preparing to be a wife or preparing to be a business, like you just, preparing for a marathon, like you're going to move different when you really want a thing to happen. And so I definitely believe in reverse engineering, starting with the big vision, but like you said, making those bite-sized steps of what it looks like to get there, like really writing out the things you need. I'm also a believer in making a list of 3 things a day.
Because after that, I don't think it's going to get
You're not doing anything else.
Not.
Realistically.
Nothing.
I don't care if you work, like, there's only so many different things, so many different times your brain can switch to a different thing before you're burnt out.
Exactly.
So I try not to overwhelm myself with any more than 3 things a day. And then for me, how I get out of my way, and this is another gem from my therapist, is setting or like blocking out my calendar.
Yes.
So putting it in a place where I know what I'm doing throughout the entire week, even if I don't do those things, because, her thing is like, and Sherry, that's the name of my therapist, but Sherry's always like, make a plan, but be flexible. So the reason that you feel whatever you feel around the procrastination is because you haven't set a plan.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't know the difference between you setting a plan with yourself and you setting a plan with someone else.
Very true.
So when you break that plan with yourself, you feel just as bad as if you had canceled or flaked on somebody else, because it's still, you flaking.
Yeah.
And the only difference is now it's internalized because it's just you.
Right. Like commit to yourself.
Commit to
anything else.
Okay. So definitely blocking out my calendar, even if it's, I want to research XYZ for an hour a day, putting that on my calendar so that I get the notification. So it's like, hey, self, you got an appointment with yourself.
Yeah.
You need to show up for yourself.
Listen, that's a mantra. Like, show up for yourself. Like, if you're going to start something and you're going to put out that vision, you're going to set the intention, you're going to ask the creator, the universe, the source, the spirit, whatever, to bring you the answers. Like, show up for yourself, first of all. See, I used to be really good at like having a jam-packed calendar, but definitely since I've been really leaning into the working from home thing and having a much more flexible schedule, like I don't schedule out that time as well as I probably should to make sure that I'm utilizing my time much more efficiently. So yeah, I'm definitely going to bite off of that and borrow that for the household, because I need it. Because it's like, definitely in mom land, it's like, all right, I know I have maybe like 2 or 3 uninterrupted hours before I'm like really needed as mom. I'm blessed to have an amazing partner who really does the dad thing well, who really does the parenting thing well. But it's like, for me, like how I get out of my own way, I set boundaries around myself. Like without baby, I can grind until I'm ready to fall asleep. because I'm like, I got things that I'm trying to take care of. So I have to set boundaries for myself. I'm definitely guilty of the 57,000 things on the to-do list for the day. So I'm like 2 to 3 things, and it's got to get done by 4. If not, then actually by 3. And if not, it's just not going to get done today, because at 3, I'm in mom mode. We go out for walks as a family. We eat dinner as a family. I'm needed, and I need to transition to the baby's nighttime routine. So like for me, I set up boundaries. Like, I don't answer my phone after a certain time. So don't call me or text me, because I'm not going to see it. I'll see it tomorrow.
Right.
So setting up those boundaries so that I can like fully commit to whatever my focus is, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, whether it's, anything else that I'm trying to work on. So setting up those boundaries for me has been like really helpful.
I think boundaries are wonderful, especially when you are trying to get something going, because every distraction under the sun, and it'll be people who mean well. It'll be your friend. It's like, girl, let's go out for drinks. And like, you're supposed to be working on something.
And you're like, I deserve a little break. Let me get a drink.
Facts. But if you want the drink, get the drink. Yeah. But that's the beauty of making a plan and being flexible, because you don't break the appointment with yourself. You reschedule it.
Exactly.
So if you were supposed to be working on something that like during that hour, and your friend calls and is like, girl, let's go have drinks. Go have the drinks. Enjoy yourself and don't feel guilty about it. But you have to reschedule that time with yourself for another time, because the thing still has to get done and it's still in your brain. And that's where procrastination seeps in, because it's like, your brain feels like you should have gotten somewhere with it because it's been on your brain.
Yeah.
But because you didn't, now you're feeling bad, because you're like, well, it's been on my mind. I've been thinking about it, but I ain't got nowhere.
Right.
And your brain is like, what is happening? So it doesn't know. And, that's, again, the part of your brain that you don't really understand it. And sometimes it doesn't understand you. Like, you're trying to you're like, what is going on? And So I definitely think making a plan, but being flexible, and, again, enjoying those times when they come up for you.
Yeah.
But you can't sleep on yourself in the process.
You can't. You have to commit. You have to show up for yourself. But you also have to give yourself grace, because I think, we are definitely, I think Atlanta has the privilege of being the Black entrepreneurs Mecca. Like, there's so many entrepreneurs here. Like, everybody we know is an entrepreneur. Like, period. Like, period. Whether they got a 9 to 5 or not, they're entrepreneurs. But also at the same time, it's like, we want it to be so perfect that we don't give ourselves grace for it not being perfect. And it's like, well, first of all, perfection doesn't make sense. Like, it's never going to be as perfect as you want it to. The point is progress. So it's just like, again, if you're going to do everything on the task list, bite-sized chunks, but give yourself grace for making those failures, because they're what's going to make you successful. Like, it didn't work out this time, so next time, how can you be better for that? So it's like, start that shit. Start it. But give yourself grace for it not being as perfect as you want it to be, and being and sitting and being okay with that.
Absolutely. I think also one of the other things that tends to get in the way of people starting stuff is the idea or concern of others' opinions.
Ooh-wee.
And
trying to get them likes. Trying to get them likes.
The feedback. And my therapist got me together once because I was doing something at the time, and I was just like, I'm just not getting the traction I want with this. I don't even know why I'm doing it. And it's just not working out. And she was like, well, if you're concerned about whether or not people are going to bite onto it, and that's your primary concern at this point, you should probably not be doing this thing right now.
Probably should.
And I had to sit with that for a second, because I was not happy when she told me.
I
was like, excuse me, sis.
Gather me, sis.
Right. But that's the reality, because my intention, like the root of what I was focused on, was not where my attention needed to be, which was why I was experiencing what I was experiencing. And so, I think if more of us can care a little bit less.
Just a little bit less. Care a little bit less.
Or not. I mean, if you can get to not at all, that'd be great.
Honestly,
Gary Vaynerchuk,
the law of detachment is amazing.
I need to practice that, because listen, I'm a work in progress.
For real, like, the yoga philosophy is you have to detach from things in order to cure your suffering. The reason why we suffer is because we're too attached to stuff. So people who be out here who's petty, they're too attached to petty. Be detached from petty. Like, to the people who are attached to perfectionism, be detached from perfectionism, because that's why you're suffering. Approval of others, detach yourself from the likes.
Okay. Listen, or spend some more time liking yourself.
Liking yourself. Go double tap in the mirror a little while.
Exactly. Absolutely. Spend some time with yourself. And
I'm telling you.
I fully receive that. And on the subject of perfectionism, because I struggle with this, something serious. Shawntel knows this because she is currently working with me. So we're going to talk about it a little more in a second. But Shawntel recently launched a podcast accelerator program of which I'm a member. And when I tell y'all my perfectionist ways have definitely been trying to get in the way of me launching this podcast, it's been ridiculous. And Shawntel is like, listen, done is better than perfect, sis. We will continue to get better. We will continue to work on it, but put the episode out. And so I appreciate her energy in that, because I would still be, re-recording episodes.
Like, you can't hustle backwards for perfectionism. You can't.
Yeah.
That energy that you're going to spend trying to redo and undo and all that stuff, all of that energy could be you putting out your next 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes. It could be you putting energy into something else. But it's just like, I think we spend so much time on trying to make things perfect when it's so limiting. Making something perfect is so limiting.
Yeah.
Like, you want to fail, you want to see your first one, and then at your 100th one see the progress that you made. Like, instead of trying to reach for perfection, reach for progress forward, because even failure is progression forward. So it's like, I went back and I looked at my very first like real Instagram video that I put out, and it's like maybe 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. And I'm like, I at least put some makeup on. I'm like, but I have no idea who I'm talking to. I don't like video because you got to put a face on in order to be seen if you want to be like approachable or whatever. And I just like, I have no idea who I'm talking to. This feels really weird. And then like you go and you see my videos. I don't care how I look because it's out there. I want you to see the video regardless. So again, if I had been stuck on perfection, I'd have no videos up. I would have no real presence up. So it's like, okay, it's not perfect, but I got it done. That's a win. So I think a way for us to really get over perfectionism is to celebrate every single win. Every single win going forward, celebrate that. You got the episode, you recorded, you wrote out the script, win.
Yeah.
You recorded the episode, win. It didn't sound too great, doesn't matter. I still recorded the episode, win. And it's just like, I edited the episode, win. Why are you going to go back and redo all of that work you just did? Why?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Because you want it to be perfect? No, we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to progress forward.
Yes. No, I received that as well. So that is that's why we're on episode 2 right now. And we're going to be on episode 3 in a minute. So I am A-okay with that. But yes, totally, done is better than perfect. Whatever thing has been sitting on your heart, I fully think you should just do something today. 15 minutes. That's what my therapist, because like you'll get overwhelmed. You'll be like, oh my God, this is going to take me hours and weeks and months to launch. Exactly. You're like, you know what? Just start with 15 minutes.
A little bit each day.
Yeah.
A little bit each day. Even right now, I am in a 200-hour yoga teacher training. And it's like in the Facebook support group, you see so many women, so many people. It's like, how do I get through all of these hours? How do I do this? It's like, oh, well, this is how my day, I'm a mother of 14 and I work 17 hours. I'm being real exaggerated about it. But it's just like, how do you even do it? It's like, you just do like an hour a day. It's 200 hours. Nobody's going to get through 200 hours in their real lives.
Yeah.
Trying to do this virtually in a week. Like, we're not traveling.
Right.
Because originally my goal was to take the trip to Bali and spend like 2 weeks getting a full immersive experience. But I'm not traveling in the age of Rona.
Fair enough.
So we're going to get these credits on the virtual screen, and I just do an hour a day. Sometimes I can't get to it, and I give myself grace for that, and you move forward. Eventually you're going to get 200 hours. But it's just like, if you sit here talking about, well, how do I get started? And you're scared to get started because you trying to figure out how to eat the whole elephant. Just bite-sized chunks, a little bit each day is what's going to get you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, shout out to your yoga teacher training. I look forward to our sessions.
I know.
Listen, I love me a good yoga session.
Yes. Gonna be teaching y'all all the yoga moves when I'm done. Yes.
I'm with it. So before we go, I want to chat about this podcast accelerator program.
Yes. Actually, you inspired me.
Oh, thanks.
You like inspired me. You and a couple of other people inspired me. When I launched like my official podcast, I was like, people like, how do you launch a podcast? Like, how do you get started? What should I do? And da, da, da. I'm like, well, I mean, let me put some things down. Let me get in the groove of how I've been creating my own systems, and I'm gonna get back to you. And so even when this year started, I was like, I'm no longer doing event planning unless it's at a corporate level, but I do want to help people in a coaching capacity to teach them how to get a particular end result. And I was like, listen, universe, we gonna make this happen. You tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. And it ended up being podcasting. And so I was like, all right, how are we going to launch a podcast? So I went through my first season. Each episode, I got better and better and better. My processes got better and better and better to the point where I can now put on paper what I do and give it to somebody so that they can take that same information and completely replicate it. And so that is how Launch Your Podcast came together. The Launch Your Podcast Accelerator came together. And really, it's launch your podcast in 7 days. Yes. In 7 days, you can have your first episode up. Like, don't tell me that you can't, because you can. Once you go through the steps, once you plan and you go through your production schedule, you can publish that first episode. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the accelerator helps you to put together your entire podcasting season. And so I'm so excited. Like, when I send you those text messages and I send you those emails, I'm smiling because your success is my success. Because again, there's an end result. Like, even my coach was like, oh, you want to keep them in for a year. I do, but I actually want them to get this result in 7 days.
Right.
Like, I actually want a result in 7 days. And within 12 weeks, I need a bigger result. Yeah. So yes, hire me as your coach for the entire year, please. It's amazing. But in 7 days, you better launch this podcast. Otherwise, I'm coming out for you, because your success is my success. So it'll be on my website, soainspired.com, and you can find the podcasting information. But also, launch your podcast in 7 days is the goal. So definitely people can hit me up. I am taking a few more clients, because as I'm continuing to perfect the program for you and for your success, I want it to be intimate, but I want it to be impactful too. Like, a lot of people's like, oh, I just want to fill a program. I want it to be an impactful program, because again, my first result from you is in 7 days. So you should be able to get some sort of return on investment in those 7 days. But you inspired me. You worked with me in one of my episodes for the podcast. Like, I'm going to launch the podcast. I'm like, okay, cool. You better. So let's get it going. Yeah. And a couple of other people hit me up, and I was like, I've got to put something together for my peeps, and hopefully there are more peeps who are interested in it. And I'm just so excited about it. Like, launch your podcast, because if we're going to definitely amplify voices, podcasting is absolutely a trend that people are not paying attention to, that's been here for a while. Because again, like, people are going to get tired of looking at that screen, especially for the experts. So take that content that you create, put it in a podcast, launch your first podcast, amplify your voice, amplify your stories, and amplify your expertise, because it's an incredible way to market your business. And it's a low impact way, because with video, most of us girls, we trying to be beat, we trying to make sure the edges are laid, we trying to make sure the hair looks good, and that takes a lot of work. And what I don't have as a mom and a wife is that much time in my day to devote to getting ready to be on video. But I can always find 15 to 20 minutes to record. And people, they're like, oh, well, what kind of mic should I get? Should I spend $150 on a mic? No, you have a phone. It has voice recorder. Let's start there. And that's definitely like the goal. Like, I want you to see that you have everything that you need to be successful. And I want you to know that, so you'll launch. You're not going to sit in procrastination because of time or perfectionism. You're going to realize you have everything that you need to be successful. We just need to focus on what's the most important thing. And that's what the accelerator helps you do when you launch your podcast.
I love that. Yeah, Shawntel got me right together. She was following up with me. She was like, okay, girl, what we doing? So how's it coming along? How we feeling? And look, 9 times out of 10, the problem was how I was feeling. It had nothing to do with anything related to the tech, any of that. Although I did have a little microphone, because I wanted a microphone. So, but thankfully, shout out to Amazon Prime. It was here in 2 days, and we kept it moving. And that's what you kind of have to do. But like you said, getting started, I think is super important. And even if it's with your headset that comes with your phone,
you have everything that you need. Like, I think for us, we always sit in the end result, because I'm an event planner. So for me, I have to think macro and micro, because I have to think of the scale and the end result of the event, but I have to break it down into those micro pieces to make sure it gets done. Because with event planning, it's a ton of admin work in the planning process, and then you see this extravagant experience at the end. That's the end result. That's the thing that everybody sees. That's the thing that people base their expectations on. But when you're doing the first one, you're not going to be perfect. You grow into being perfect. You grow into being good. That first one is going to be the most epic of failures. You are going to want to record that first episode 17 times because you took too many breaks. You said too many times. Maybe you're sniffling, you had a coughing fit, whatever the situation, just keep going. Like, you already started. Don't stop because you now want to start over. Keep going and fix it along the way.
Absolutely. I agree. Look, that's why, again, we've made it to episode 2. Because if it was up to me, listen, my perfectionist ways would be trying to perfect things that we just need to move on from.
We'd be listening to episode like 3.7.
Okay.
Episode 1, 3.7.
Basically, because I would have recorded it so many times.
Another time.
But yes, but nope, we put it out because we starting this anyway, and I'm super grateful that you helped me get through that to launch my podcast. So I'm so happy that you're my first guest.
I'm so glad to be here.
I have fun. I always enjoy our talks, and I'm even more joyful that now our talks are in a space where we get to share that with other people.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you for like launching the podcast. Absolutely. But I'm so excited for you to have started because, again, we had this conversation February 2020. It's politely like September, October 2020. We're not going to talk about how long it took. We're just going to celebrate the fact that it happened. It happened. And it's done. And you did it. And that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you.
Yes. No, definitely. I think letting people into your world can sometimes feel a little, make you feel a little vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And so, you're just like, oh, I hope I say the right thing or whatever. But the reality is that your people will find you, and anybody who wants to find fault in whatever it is you got going on, they're going to do it anyway.
Exactly.
So you might as well go ahead and put your story out there. You might as well share whatever message has been put on your heart, because if you don't do it, nobody else will.
That's very true.
Because your unique thing you have to share with the world is yours and yours alone.
It is. And that's what makes you special. That's what makes you different. It doesn't matter that there's like thousands of other podcasts, thousands of other blogs, websites. What makes your podcast unique is you. Mm-hmm. And you are creating that podcast for people who like you, for people who like your message, your story, your experience. And I think we overestimate the time it takes to influence the masses. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to do. And we underestimate the necessity of just getting that support of your group of people, because you don't make $1 million by trying to influence 1 million people.
Yeah. It starts with one. Yep. And 9 times out of 10, I mean, you hope it's your circle, but a lot of times it is definitely going to be strangers and people that come out of the woodwork, and you're like, where are these people coming from? Mm-hmm. Who are these people? Mm-hmm. But they're going to be down to support.
Very true.
Don't have a whole lot of expectations. I mean, you can have goals, about maybe how many listeners you want to get to and things like that. But in terms of like having expectations of like who's going to meet you in that place to support you, it could be in your circle. It could very well be strangers.
It could very well. Somebody is right now asking God for the solution to a problem that they have, and you have the solution, and you're afraid to put it out there.
Yeah, we can't be doing that. We do not have time for that.
You're afraid to start because it ain't perfect. You ain't got everything. You're afraid. And someone is praying for you to put your message out there, to launch that thing, to start that business, to go forward with the vision. And you're afraid to put it out there. And someone is praying for you to answer their problem, answer their prayers.
Listen, so do God's work, y'all.
Do God's work.
Listen, it'll make you better. It'll help somebody else out in the world, and we'll all be the better for it. So whatever's been put on your heart, do it. And I don't know, I think there's no better way to wrap it up than just
start that shit.
basically. So I am thankful again. I want to thank you before we go for joining me. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to the rest of the season working with the podcast accelerator and getting season 1 check off the list.
Yes.
Thanks, Boo.
Thank you, Boo.
Can I just share how much a source of light Shawntel is in my life? I'm so grateful to have her as part of my tribe and somebody that I know that I can call on and I can text, and she will always be there for me in terms of being a support system, but also somebody that I can rely on in business settings, right? I think that's super important too. And our relationship has only continued to grow. And for that, I am extremely grateful. I want to share something before we take it on out. I want to share a post actually that Shawntel wrote on Instagram not that long ago, actually a few weeks ago, where she talks about doing it scared. And hopefully this will encourage you and let you know that, you can do it scared too. I recently made the decision to invest in the help I desperately need in order to make my goals and dreams a reality. I made the decision to get a business coach. When I made the investment, she asked me how I felt. I told her straight up that I was scared. This was the first time I actually put action and funds toward my betterment. She told me she knew how I felt and congratulated me on making the decision to not let fear rule over me. I pass that on to you. Whatever decision you've been stalling on, whatever action you've allowed fear to maintain a grasp on, make the decision to do it scared anyway. Your current self may be looking at you like, girl, what did you just do? But your future self will thank you. Empower yourself by putting action behind the knowledge you know you have and make the decision to not let fear get in the way. Do it scared. If you're looking to curate your Instagram with more purposeful content and people who are doing purpose work, I would strongly encourage you to follow Shawntel. You can find her on Instagram at Soa Inspired. That's SOA Inspired with a D. You can keep up with her and all the amazing things she's up to. She's got a group called Melanated Mamas. Of course, the Launch Your Podcast Accelerator, if you want more information about that. And yeah, just keep up with everything she has going on. Shawntel is definitely somebody whose content I enjoy on a regular basis, and I think you will too. So head over to Instagram right now. Follow her on Instagram. If this episode encourages you to do something in spite of fear or procrastination or distractions, definitely let us know. Head over to shelookslikeme.com and leave us a voice message. We'll be playing future voice messages on future episodes. So definitely leave a voice message. And if you have any questions or if there are things you want to hear on this podcast, or if you just want to say, hey, girl, I love what you're doing, head over to shelookslikeme.com and you can leave a voice message and we'll play some of them on future episodes. Thank you so much for joining us on the second episode of She Looks Like Me. I will see y'all next week.